Hello guys, it's me Sim Orahara, and in this video I will talk about one of the new vice captains we saw in this new chapter. Personally, besides the topic of hell and everything related to it, I find that presenting new Shinigami characters in the story was one of the best things that Kobo did, and I consider it a smart move on his part. And I'll tell you why. If you notice, in the last chapter, or I mean chapter 685, Kobo showed us almost all the vice captains we have: Momo, Renji, Hisagi, Nanao, Rangiko, and we knew that Ikako became Zaraki's vice captain after Yachiro's disappearance, while Kyoni became Isane's vice captain and Akon as Mayuri's vice captain, and of course Omaida is Soifon's vice captain, while we didn't know who are the vice captains of Iba and Lisa and even Rokia. And the fate of Kira and Hephaestus's Rose vice captain was still unknown. And we have to take in consideration that the events of that chapter were 10 years after the end of the battle against Yohabach. So what some people don't know, and I have already said that in a previous video, is that in Rokia's novel the events take place 3 years after the Quincy War, and in that novel it was previously said that Iba's vice captain is Yososhika Limura, who was in the 4th division, and it seemed that the main reason for making Iba Limura as his vice captain at that time was his need for someone to heal him, because Iba was under a very harsh training every day and night, so he was suffering from wounds and fractures that needed a special treatment, and it seemed that Limura was the person who could provide that for him. But personally, I think that the best decision that Kobo made was to change this vice captain, because it would have been a very unsuccessful combination. Why? Because as many of the fans up to the moment, they don't accept the idea of Iba being a captain, and they have a reasonable point. I mean, we didn't see either his Shikai and Bankai, and in the top of that, make this character his vice captain would have truly been a failed team in the true sense of the word. Therefore, Kobo, in order to attract followers to this team and to Iba himself, he made Iba's vice captain a completely new and has a distinct personality in many aspects. Like his design, he is nice and attractive. It can be said that he is an ideal character for fangirls. And the other thing that distinguishes him is that he is mute, he can't speak. But on the other hand, he can communicate with animals and birds, and this is the thing that gives Atau a special place in the 7th squad, because I think that Atau may have a relationship with Sajin, especially after he became a wolf that can only speak through his barking, which is the languages of animals for wolves. So perhaps Sajin Komamura and his clan may have something to do with the fact that Atau is within the 7th division. How? So my theory is that Atau could be a case like Mowgli or Tarzan. I mean, Atau in a young age he found himself alone, but in his case he was mute, and he was lost among the mountains, or he was left there on purpose. And as we know, the Sajin clan lives hidden in the mountains, but as it appeared in Rokia's novel, some of its members do trade with some families within the Serity, especially the Omaida family. So I say that the members of the Sajin clan found that child and raised him among them and taught him how to communicate and understand the language of animals, because the origin of the Sajin clan are known for their ability to speak both human language and animal language. And in the novel it was mentioned that there are 2 members of Sajin clan training in the 7th division, and they escaped from their hideout in the mountains and came to Serity. So I think that Atau had the same situation for him, but in a different way. Iba found him, and when he learned that he lived with the Sajin clan, he decided to take care of him and include him in the squad. And when he showed his distinction and strength, he made him his vice captain. Of course, what I say is just my own theory, but I find it appropriate to link several things that distinguished this squad. Anyway, returning to the events of the special chapter in which Rindo Atau appeared, both him and Yayahara, I just like their reaction. And since this video about Atau, I will be talking about him specifically. So as I said, unlike some of the old vice captain, Atau's response was quick. was very quick. It is true that the hollows appeared suddenly in the absence of everyone, but Atau showed features of strength balance. Immediately he decided to confront the danger instead of wondering how and when they appeared out of nowhere, especially since the ghouls of hell were in a direct attack, and we saw how both Renji and Kyoni were seriously injured. So I think that Atau's reaction was excellent. Another thing, because he is mute, he has a unique way to awaken his Shikai, and instead of speaking he writes the wake up command on the Zanpakuto, and so the Zanpakuto turns into scraps of paper, and then according to his desire he pronounces the name of the animal inside his head, and the scraps turn into living creatures. So here I'm wondering about the name of his Zanpakuto and how is his relationship with it, and is he inside his inner world actually able to speak to his Zanpakuto? I personally want to know about this, because I think it will be such a special relationship between him and his Zanpakuto. So as I said, the presentation of the characters of Atau with Iba as a vice captain will give balance to this team. At least we have a vice captain who seems strong. On the other hand, I'm really waiting to see the strength of Iba. I mean, for 10 years he has been training day and night to prove to us that he really deserves the position of a captain. And so, as I said guys, if Kobo made Atau's background connected to the Sajin clan, that would be great in my opinion. He will make many of the characters around him linked, from Iba to Sajin to his clan itself. So Atau, in my opinion, caught more attention in a separate circumstance than some of the other vice captains like Omaida or even Momo. For this I want to see more from him in the upcoming chapters and about his background as well. So guys, what do you think about Atau and his background, and see you in my next video.